To start off, please note that we aren't going to spend much time today working through all the great value that mFiles provides. Instead, we're going to focus on showing how the mFiles AI assistant Aino helps knowledge workers with their daily work. So today for this demonstration, we're working as a principal partner in a consultancy firm. We have a new client, Precision Tech Manufacturing, who has asked us to review some of their business activities and give some advice on some information related to a potential investment. The client has already provided some documents and has asked us to do an initial review and work on that analysis. We'll use mFiles Aino to quickly gather some information from those documents that should be helpful to us. So let's get started. First, let's locate their documents. I'm already in mFiles and I'm going to go straight into my content. This view gives me quick access to everything I'm already working on, such as my client list, my engagements, and my virtual client files. Let's go there. So mFiles automatically organizes my information for me and creates these virtual client groupings. Let's go and choose Precision Tech. And here I can access a few different things, such as their engagements that we're working on or some contact information. But right now I'm most interested in the documents that have been provided by this client. Let's look there. So here's a collection of documents that they've directly sent to us. And let's start to get some information. Let's go to this particular office lease agreement first. Now when I select it, mFiles is going to show me a little bit of information around the document, but there's still a lot that isn't present. Let's use Preview to take a quick look at the document, and there's a lot of content here that I have to read through. A lot of fine print in this particular agreement. So instead, let's use Aino to begin to get a sense of what's in this document. I'll first ask Aino to just give me an overall summary, work through that, give me a nice paragraph it produced that tells me a little bit about what's in this particular lease. This looks like good information. I think I'll go ahead and save that as metadata. It suggested that I save it to the document summary, so let me just save it there. So next question, I really need to know what the effective date of this agreement is going to be. And again, I could go through and find it in the document, but I'm just going to go ask Aino to help me get that information very quickly. And it came back that it's the 30th of April. So let's go ahead and save that in the effective date property. So you can see part of what I'm doing, I'm asking Aino a few questions, and it's helping me establish and save this information into its metadata. I've got the effective date there, I've got the document summary present. So a few more pieces of information that I'd like to know so I can provide some good advice. So I'll ask the question, is there an indemnification clause that's present, and describe it for me. So Aino will look through the agreement, find that type of clause, it's doing its analysis, and in fact there is an indemnification clause, and it even pulled out that clause. And it told me a bit about where it would actually be found in the document itself. Let me find the payment terms. And then lastly, once I have those payment terms on the screen, the last thing I want to know is when this thing terminates. Are there going to be obligations that I have to fulfill? And Aino will search through the document and again finds that when I'm done, I have to redeliver the office facility at the end of the term. Great, that was very helpful. Well, let's go take a look at one of their other lease agreements. This one happens to be a lease for an automobile. This particular organization is a global organization. They have offices around the world, and they do lease some vehicles for company use. And so in their German offices, they have this particular lease agreement. So I need to get some details about this lease agreement also, but unfortunately, I don't speak or read German. It's not in my native language, so I may have a problem, but let's go ask Aino to help us a bit. Let's ask it to do a similar summary, but instead I'm actually going to ask for a lease abstract. And my hopes is that I'll get a little bit of more of a formatted response from this that'll help me go through and pick out the information that I need. Aino's going through the document, finding those pieces of information, and Aino recognized that English is my normal language based on my local operating system. So went through that German language document and pulled out those pieces of information and provided me a great lease abstract. I could also, if I needed to translate this response into another language, I can also do the same types of activities, but let's say I actually want the response to come back in the Finnish language because I need to provide some information to one of my counterparts in Finland. So I ask for the same request. The document is in German. I work in the English language, but I'm asking Aino to help me and provide me some information back in Finnish. And there it is. There's a result that I can now copy to the clipboard, paste it into an email, and use that information as I need. So thanks, Aino. That was a great help. So as a company, Precision Tech Manufacturing is really doing well. They're having some really nice cash flow, and they're looking at making some investments. And one of those investments they're considering is in Microsoft. So they provided for me one of their most recent annual reports, and I can take a quick preview of this particular annual report as well. And when I look at this, I quickly realize there's a lot of pages in this. I think there's over 90 pages. So I certainly don't want to spend a whole lot of time looking through all of that. So let's go and use Aino to gather some information. I'll request the same type of document summary that I've requested for those other documents. And it'll take a second longer because it's a pretty long document, but I got a really nice quick recap for what this document is about. But I want some details. What was their annual growth during the last year? Are they growing as a company? And I suspect I already know this answer, but let's go get some real numbers. Yeah, so they actually grew 18% year over year for last year. But I really want to find out now which of their products had the greatest growth, and let's figure out the two products had the largest revenue growth. And let's see where the bulk of their growth came from in the past year. So Weiner's doing analysis, and those two products, the cloud services, as I would expect, and of course the Office 365 commercial product base is very good for him. Cash is king in any operation, so do they have positive cash flow? Always something good to check. And in fact, they did, of course, have positive cash flow. I'm not going to ask how much it was. I'm sure it was significant. What I really want to know, if I'm an investor thinking about this, investing in this company, I want to know if there were any concerns. What should I be watching out for? So, or were there any concerns mentioned in this particular document? And yeah, there are a couple of concerns. The inflation's being high. There's an ongoing war still in Ukraine. And they also have some unresolved tax issues. I have to wonder what that is. So I might, what issues were reported? I'll type an ad hoc question in here, and let's see what were those tax issues. Aino's looking through the document, gathering a bit of information, and here we have some specific details, and I see it's something remains unresolved with the Internal Revenue Service in the U.S. They've been on an ongoing audit since 2003, so that's been a long issue. So certainly that's should be a concern. The last thing I want to do, and this is one of the really neat things about Aino, is it can actually do math for me. It's not just pulling pieces of information out of a document, but it can actually find pieces of information and do things with them. I want to know what the sum of their R&D expense as well as their sales and marketing expense for the year. That direct information isn't present anywhere in the document, but I want to find that out. So I'm asking Aino to quickly find those two pieces of information, add them for me, and I see that they spent $46 billion last year on R&D and sales and marketing, quite a bit. So, as you can see, I've gone through this and I've now quickly gathered some information that's going to help me understand these documents, determine where I need to dig deeper into them to get more information. As a knowledge worker, Aino helps me very quickly understand what's in a document, provides that summary information, and answers my question so I can focus on what my real primary task is. I can use natural language to easily determine if a document contains the kind of information I need without having to read through every page. I'm more productive and I can provide better service to our clients. So, a few additional notes about Aino. mFiles automatically provides very enhanced document version control where we're keeping track of every document change. However, Aino's responses are always based on the most recent version, not on any archived or previous versions. Aino provides better results than a lot of other processes because it combines mFiles version controls, data governance, and the document metadata to provide very accurate and very helpful responses. Aino is also providing a response based on the specific document and task at hand. It'll only give you an answer if it's actually found in the document. You won't get the type of false answers that you can sometimes receive when using the public generative AI engines. And from a security perspective, this is pretty important to our customers. With Aino, all the documents and its content always stay within your mFiles domain. Your data is never used to train the language model and it's never exposed to any outside organization. Aino is available with our Business Edition tier, which includes our entire suite of AI tools, including automatic classifications, smart metadata, and some other tools that our customers have found very useful.